Enter Sandman is blaring from the speakers here at Thompson Field. You know that means it is time to go. So let's love the game from Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech Hokies, it is a blackout, so you know they're the team out there in black. The Virginia Cavaliers on the road in orange. Virginia Tech can strike quickly off that kickoff. Count that as a set piece that you don't want to look away from. You can ask Notre Dame about that. Hokies scoring right off basically the second half kickoff in their last match. Virginia on it now. Will want to try to keep possession of the ball as much as they can. Maddie McDermott, number 9, goes out wide. Allie Ross, number 8, getting the start tonight. And Lainey Rouse, the right back on that side, will take the throw in now for the Cavaliers. Tatum Galvin, part of the back four for Virginia. Taken away by the Hokies. Attacking with some gusto. Natalie Mitchell, the player you highlighted, number 24 in black, really the creator in the center of the field for Virginia Tech. Ella Valente, junior, number 34, getting the start tonight as well, her 3rd of the season.
And we see Virginia Tech slowing it down and really bringing this ball back around to the other side. But the way that they picked that one up off McCormack, that's what the Hokies are looking to do. Can they win that ball in transition? And you see Mitchell going at the back line with pace. For them to have success, though, Mitchell has to be smart when she's on the ball. And in the attacking third, they either have to connect or look on frame. But the defensive side is there already from the start for the Hokies.
Defense has been really strong for this Virginia Tech team. 3 straight shutouts for the Hokies. Lauren Hargrove, ACC Co-Defensive Player of the Week. And the highlighter yellow there in goal for Virginia Tech. Emma Pelkowski sits below Mitchell, the way that the Hokies line up in the midfield. Those two really the anchors in the center of the field for Virginia Tech. Ross. Gonna go central. Maggie Cagle, such a creator, number 10 on the ball now for Virginia. 6 goals, 5 assists for Cagle on the season, one of the Cavaliers' top producers. Looking to turn, and that's a player she's gonna see an awful lot of in Eden Skyers tonight. Virginia Tech head coach Chuck Adair loves the way that Skyers, one of his senior defenders, has been playing, and her main job tonight, keep number 10 in check. Good move there from Galvin, creating some space for herself. Nice run from Cagle to break away from Skyers. Gets herself a look. Ball still up for grabs. Cagle flicks it back to Galvin. And this is going to be a free kick coming for Virginia. Now, set pieces we know are dangerous for Virginia Tech, but look, they are always dangerous, and this is quite an opportunity for the Cavaliers.
Well, and this was really well done from Tatum Galvin getting into the attack, because it forces a midfielder in Valente to defend versus it being the outside back in Skyers, and she's a little slow on her foot, gets caught up in the tackle. This is a dangerous area to give a set piece for the Cavaliers.
Got Leah Godfrey there too, number 22, who can really strike a beautiful ball. She and Cagle both options. Cagle will drive it across. Doesn't hit the target. Great to catch up with Chugger Adair before the game. Your former head coach, Morgan, and what a job he has done with this Virginia Tech team this year. Hokies do have a College Cup appearance. They were there the year you know well, in 2013, but this team now sitting number 12 in the country, 6-1-2 in conference play, and a chance, as you mentioned, to grab a number 2 seed, which is absolutely huge. Would be the best ever for Virginia Tech and would really give them an edge going into the conference tournament.
Well, and it was interesting talking with Chugger earlier and talking about just where they are at right now and the type of coach he is. He's reflecting on the games that they didn't get the results that they wanted to. When you look at North Carolina State, when you look at Miami and not getting a win or 3 points in those. So definitely opportunity still for this Virginia Tech team, but what is most important for them is tonight and being completely focused on this game for 90 minutes, kind of drowning out all that noise about the high ranking, about potentially being a 2 seed. They need to get a win tonight for any of that to also continue to fall into place.
In other words, make all the work you've put into this point matter. A little bit of pressure here, high from the Hokies. Cagle able to break it, but no outlet available for Virginia. McDermott in the vicinity, but not going to be getting on the ball. McDermott now on the move. Galvin tries to bend it in, like the idea.
Well, Jen, Galvin has already proven to be an outlet for Virginia. When she's on the ball, she can look forward and connect.
Virginia has had the upper hand in this series. Let's get some keys to this one tonight, Morgan, for the Hokies first off.
Well, we've said it already, a consistent 90 minutes. This game will ebb and flow. Either team may have a goal. How can they respond to it? But Virginia Tech has to be completely focused for 90 minutes. And a lot of that focus comes from the willingness to defend. And then on the other side, when they get into the attacking third, they have to take their chances. They've had a fair amount of games with high shots, and they've been able to score some. They won't get that many chances tonight. So when they do, they have to be able to put the ball away.
Be efficient, right? And then Virginia, what they're trying to do, come in here on the road and pick up what really would be an impressive win, considering Virginia Tech ranked number 12 in the country, and the Cavaliers have had a tough schedule this season. They haven't gotten the results they wanted right before the end of the regular season, and they don't have an ACC tournament. This one could mean a lot. Just the top 6 teams in women's soccer make the ACC championship, so Virginia not in contention for that top 6. Teams in action across the ACC tonight. We'll keep you updated as best we can on what that means for the seeding and the standings. Virginia Tech, the Hokies know that they are in, as do the Duke Blue Devils, our number 1 seed. Florida State winners earlier tonight. If you were watching that match, just a 1-0 scoreline, but an important 3 points nonetheless for the Seminoles, as they'll now wait to see the rest of the results to see where they will finish. But that is 4 straight wins for Florida State coming into tonight, make it 5. Seminoles started to find their rhythm. Ball in behind for the Hokies. They've got runners, edge of the box. That's where it goes. Virginia, good numbers there defensively, taking it off the foot of Mitchell. Una McCormack, sophomore, who was away for really close to a month with the US U20 team at the World Cup, trying to reintegrate herself. Just her 9th appearance of the season, but a really important player in the midfield for Virginia. And it's a midfield, Morgan, that's been without Alexis Theoret for the last few matches. That's really affected the placement of some of these other players for the Cavaliers. Ross to Godfrey, 3-time All-American Leah Godfrey, coming off injury, but it's turned over. Players converge, including the goalkeeper. Saffredin coming way out to make the play. A little bit of miscommunication, though, with her back line initially.
And Jen, going back to your previous comment that there have been some changes in this midfield, and Virginia had to due to some injuries, and they've seen Leah Godfrey sit a little bit deeper. McCormack is playing a little bit deeper and more of that box-to-box midfielder, but you still see Godfrey able to get into the attack.
So dangerous when she does, yeah, but you're right. I mean, that's part of the reason Virginia has struggled at times to be as productive in the final third as this team could be. Cagle into the box, just leaving defenders in her wake, and then look to have the perfect setup. Still a follow-up, it's blocked. Galvin. Cagle really flashing some skills early on in this possession, helping to earn the first corner kick of the match.
When we see the 1v1 matchup with Skyers and Cagle, but Cagle is having her way so far. Every time she gets the ball in her foot, she actually cut 2 defenders. It was Skyers and then another player she got by on the end line. She keeps the ball so close to her foot that she's forcing defenders into step. And on the defensive side, Skyers has to stay on her feet. She's gone down a few times, and Cagle is just able to slice and get around her.
Godfrey ready from the corner for Virginia. Missed all of last season due to injury. Driven right in front and in the back of the net. It is the Cavaliers who strike off the set piece first.
And it's Meredith McDermott who gets on the end of this ball from Leah Godfrey. This is just a ball straight across, and it's actually a duck. Kylie Marshall ducks a bit and doesn't go up for that header to clear it for Virginia Tech. McDermott just gets on the right side of her defender and is able to slot it back to where it came from, over to that far post. This ball was straight, and if somebody goes up and challenges for that, anyone for Virginia Tech, it went over a few heads, that ball is cleared out. But McDermott is exactly where she needs to be and sends it home.
5th goal of the season for McDermott, the junior out of New Hampshire. And the assist from Godfrey. So we can talk all we want about how dangerous Virginia Tech is on set pieces, but Virginia proving they can be just as dangerous. And I think you're right, a little shocking really, that ball got where it did without being intercepted at the height that it was at.
And there were a few players that could have gone up for it, but there's one when Marshall, it's just obvious when she ducks to get under it. But that was a pretty easy tap-in for McDermott. She just gets right around her mark to tap it home.
And a lot can change for this Virginia Tech team pending results tonight. If they win, they control a lot more of their own destiny, especially if Duke remains out in front of North Carolina. A Duke win and a Virginia Tech win means that the Hokies take the 2nd seed. They get that bye in the ACC tournament. They get a little extra rest. Anna Weir wanting an answer, hoping to earn the set piece on the other end, but can't. But Morgan, it's pretty incredible looking back. I mean, obviously, it's an advantage to be a high seed in the ACC tournament. You get that extra rest. You don't have to play on the first day. But 81% of the ACC championships have been won by teams that were either the 1 seed or the 2 seed. So it makes a big difference. Hokies have been in the final twice. Never won that ACC championship. Lainey Rouse able to carry it all the way. Edge of the area, takes her shot, but not on target.
A lot of the attack for Virginia has come from the outside backs. That's one of the first times we've seen Lainey Rouse get forward, but nobody stepped to defend her. You see the whole back line in the midfield dropping for the Hokies, so Rouse just continues to take her space. I don't blame her. She needs to continue, and she looks to get a shot on frame. Not the best look, but it's the right opportunity because she had so much space.
Now Virginia Tech, should they lose this match tonight, really makes things interesting. The 2 seed is no longer available to them if that happens. They could finish anywhere from 3, 4, or 5. And the difference, if you're that 5 seed, that means not only do you play the first day, you travel instead of hosting. That could be a big difference. Sarah Rosenbaum has really been finding her scoring touch lately for the Hokies. Cross goes away and back to Virginia. Virginia leads the all-time series either with 19 wins or 23, depending on which school's game notes you look at. Just 4 wins for Virginia Tech, 2 draws. They agree on that part. And Virginia unbeaten with 4 wins in the last 5. So the last Virginia Tech victory in the series coming in 2018 here in Blacksburg. And well, we're going to go with the 19, all right? Wasn't sure. Sometimes you do get that. But the last time these 2 teams met in Blacksburg, that was 3-3, and Virginia Tech scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes to tie it. Godfrey had the assist. McDermott nearly connect again. The exact same combination for Virginia. Creates another corner, but nearly had a second goal.
And this is a big-time save from Lauren Hargrove. But Godfrey is special on the ball. The vision that she sees, it's a little stutter. That pocket opens up. McDermott makes a great run into the channel. She doesn't have time. It's closing with the defender sliding over and gets that look on frame. It's a really good opportunity for Virginia, and that's what makes their midfield so dangerous. And you see Leah Godfrey getting more comfortable in this game.
That assist off the last corner, the 27th of Godfrey's career, 10th all-time at Virginia. Second corner kick of the match, another beautiful delivery. Virginia Tech has to deal with it. Second ball to Cagle. She gets stopped. Rouse finds some width again. Some space in the middle of the field, and the Hokies looking to go. Ball intercepted by Galvin. This Virginia team really can be a lot to handle. They haven't gotten the results they've wanted this season, especially in conference play, Morgan, but when they are playing at their best, they're keeping the ball, they're making the other team chase. Can really wear you down.
Well, and that's exactly what they're doing, finding their rhythm in this game, is they're possessing, so it's limiting Virginia Tech's chances on goal because they're stuck defending. But something else that they're doing with Virginia Tech playing that diamond, their wide midfielders are tucked more central, and when they're defending, let's say the left side, everybody shifts over to make the field really small. Virginia is having success finding the outlet in the middle and then finding the far side outside back or the far side midfielder, and that's what's then allowing the game to shift and open up, and they're able to have numerical advantages going forward. So you're seeing Virginia possess really well and also be really smart in their decisions to find the weak side so that when they go forward, the Hokies are caught backtracking and aren't in an organized manner.
Shots 5-0 in favor of the visitors from Charlottesville so far. Skyers keeps it away from Cagle this time.
And that's a good win from Skyers, just picking the ball off the foot of Cagle. We expect to see that 1v1 matchup throughout this game. Skyers staying really close to Cagle. Something else too, this is a rivalry game, yes, but Maggie Cagle's mom, Kelly, used to be the head coach of Virginia Tech. Chugger was an assistant coach under Maggie's mom, so you know that this is one as well. Coach Adair is not wanting Maggie Cagle to have a successful game. He's not wanting her to find the back of the net.
I feel like there are Maggie Cagle connections all over. We did the Virginia-NC State game, and NC State head coach Tim Santoro was actually best friends with Maggie's dad. And so they were in each other's weddings. They went way back. He's known Maggie since she was a kid. But yeah, that's a wonderful connection. So glad you brought that up with her connection here and her mom at Virginia Tech. Here is Cagle on cue. Another nice move in the box. little slip after the fact and gives Skyers just enough time to recover and get there, but it does concede a third corner.
Skyers is working so hard there, and that was good. She went down. She was quick to get back up and get into a tackle. Maggie Cagle is so good. She's not just fast, she's quick in the way that she can cut and change pace in small spaces. It's so difficult to defend, but you see Skyers going down and then able to get back up in that last tackle, but it still leads to another Virginia corner.
And two really beautiful deliveries from Godfrey on the first two. Let's see how the Hokies handle number 3. First ball, again, won by Virginia Tech. So often on set pieces, it's the second and the third. It's recycled, a lot of numbers there. Virginia trying to make the most of this opportunity, but get themselves stuck in the corner.
Virginia corner kick.
And put it off of Virginia Tech, though, so they earn another corner on the far side.
And keep an eye on, just to the right of your screen, 14, Allie Lewis for Virginia Tech, the center back. She's won the last 2 corners. She's been really dominant in the air. But this is the same side where the goal came from.
And Lewis is right next to McDermott, who was the goal scorer. That's where the ball goes, and a glove of Hargrove. First to the ball for Virginia Tech. 6 saves for Hargrove in that win on the road at Notre Dame in the last match for the Hokies. Maybe her best game, Chugger Adair telling us earlier this week. Hokies win it, and it is always a quick look. Finally, the ball goes out, but they win it, Morgan. Their first instinct is to go if it's on, but a smart choice always, and not like they're always taking the ball and booming it over the top. They put themselves in a rather vulnerable position if that was the play every time. But it's certainly the first option if they can find it. McCormack loses it. Good work defensively from Mitchell to win it for Virginia Tech. That setup pass to the front line has been just a bit off so far for the Hokies, hasn't it, Morgan? It's been going to the feet of Virginia a little more often than to the 2 front runners for Virginia Tech.
And the angle on that last one is so tight. It almost has to be hit with the outside of the right foot for it to bend into the path of the runner. But another reason, too, is front runners are very central right now. So if Anna Weir can just pull her run back a little bit more towards the sideline and then go forward, there's more space to play the ball versus trying to keep it really narrow. But you're right, Jen. This Virginia Tech team is looking to go direct. They don't have a ton of options. Now you're seeing movement getting forward. You're seeing Skyers add into the attack. But they have to get their head up to then be able to connect.
Crowd displeased with the call of the referee, Kyle Johnston. Good luck tonight on Halloween in Blacksburg.
And it was a ball forward in a 50-50 place. Galvin going for that with Valente. Didn't look like much. It just looked like a 50-50 ball. Valente putting her leg into it. Galvin just coming on the other side. I don't completely agree with that call.
Rosenbaum, we are making a run for Virginia Tech. She crisscrosses in front, has to stay on side. Rosenbaum still has it at her feet. Eventually loses possession. Skyers, a much needed intervention. There's some space along the far side. Hokies moving into it. Ball into the box, and just a little bit off. One of the best looks so far, though, for Virginia Tech in the attack.
This one started so deep. It was actually Emma Pelkowski defensively who won the ball, and then Eden Skyers had a fantastic direct ball sent in higher up the field. This is the first time we've really seen movement on the left side from Allie George as well, getting into the attack. And that was a complete unlock for the Hokies. That's something I want to continue to see. We've seen Skyers get forward on this right side. Can Allie George add in as well? it's forcing the Virginia attackers to have to do a little bit of work defensively, but we haven't seen many balls played in from that left side.
Keep an eye on that score, Hokie fans. 2-1. You better be rooting for the Blue Devils tonight because you don't want those Tar Heels potentially impacting your standing. So if Duke can hang on there, that gives Virginia Tech the opportunity to get that 2 seed. Need to find their way into this match a little more offensively, though. They've had their struggles at times, but they've also been very opportunistic. They were outshot at Notre Dame, but got the win, 2-0, got the shutout. Samar Guidry came on for Virginia on the back line, and Kendall D'Amelio for Virginia Tech replaced Valente in the midfield. Hokies had some success last time down this part of the field. They lose possession here. McCormack looks for options. Then Guidry quickly makes herself available. Samar Guidry, a player who's had to work her way back from injury as well. Hasn't been fully fit all season long, but is in her 5th year with the Cavaliers, has started every year that she's been with Virginia. Incredibly experienced player.
And Jen, it was interesting talking with Steve Swanson just about the rotations that they've seen on their back line, because we often see teams keep their back 4 and those players don't come out, and he just feels really confident with the 6 that he has right now, kind of in a rotation on the back line. He's been really happy with how they've played, and it's almost a really good place to be in. You don't see it too often, and the team's also not really struggling when it comes to chemistry, so it's working out for them. But it is interesting how he tends to shuffle some minutes around his back line.
Yeah, as you pointed out, it's a luxury if you feel confident in 5-6 players there that you can plug in. A couple important changes to note too. Sophia Bradley has come on for Virginia. The freshman has started a number of games and is really exciting when she gets on the ball. Number 27 coming on for Ross. And then Taylor Price, who has been electric off the bench for Virginia Tech. 6 goals, 2 assists, 5 of those goals coming off the bench, and that's where she's started the matches in conference play. Chugger Adair really likes what she can bring when she comes in. She replaces Rosenbaum up top. And this is dangerous territory now for Virginia Tech. Ball put in the air, in the box, flick toward the back post. What a chance there for Ava Arango. Left open, unmarked, just couldn't get a solid foot onto it.
Well, Jen, she's completely wide open. This ball gets popped all the way over. It's good marking in the middle, and it's actually a deflection from a Virginia player. She goes with the first time on her left foot and just misses frame.
First shot of the match for the Hokies coming off of that free kick, not surprisingly. McDermott, a couple of defenders around her, did well to hold up play. Just good help defending in numbers by Virginia Tech.
That's a good step in on the far side from Allie George. You can see the work from Sophia Bradley trying to step in the stutter to let the ball come across her body, but George able to knock it out.
Great to see George back out there for Virginia Tech. Missed the last couple of matches dealing with an injury, and they hoped it was a minor injury. It was. One of their leaders, as a senior on the back line, can play either side. Virginia still on the attack. Tantalizing ball out to Godfrey. Godfrey turns the defender. That was a really important poke away defensively.
Well, and this is a place where Virginia Tech, you can see their organized lines of defense, but they have to be able to stay as a unit. You see Virginia kind of shuffling now to this near side, looking to open up those pockets. Keep an eye on McCormack, keep an eye on Godfrey, also trying to find it wide to Cagle. Those are the three players specifically that they're going to look as the outlets.
Feels like, Morgan, Virginia has had their way thus far in the first half. They have the lead, came off a corner kick, not the run of play, but they've had a lot of this, a lot of possession, a lot of moving that Virginia Tech defense around, asking questions of them. This one does go out of play.
Well, and Jen, we've also seen this Virginia Tech team get stuck defending because they're not clearing it and maintaining possession. So they're being stuck, the ball's coming in and they're just looking to get it out and not connecting, so then they're stuck once again and cannot build forward, because one of the worst things you can do when you're playing Virginia is being stuck defending, because you know this Cavaliers team is just able to possess and move the ball and create. So for Virginia Tech, when that ball comes in, yes, clearances are necessary, but that second ball has to go to the foot of a Hokie so that they can just catch their breath and look to build forward versus being stuck in their defensive block.
Yeah, such a good point. Maya Carter coming on for Virginia, replacing Godfrey for the remainder of this first half. And Sam de Guzman, number 19, for Virginia Tech, replacing Weir in the attack. You cannot switch off for a second. Both coaches talked about that, and this certainly has the feel of a rivalry match. It always is heated between these two. And as you said, tables turned a little bit. For once, Virginia is the underdog. First time in their series history that they have been the lower ranked team, unranked at the moment, with Virginia Tech at 12.
And I asked Steve Swanson about that and just the mentality with this team and what their thoughts are. And he shared he doesn't think his team, you know, is thinking about that too much. Honestly, I don't know if I completely agree with that as a player, especially in a rivalry match. If you're used to being the higher seed, you definitely want to make a statement. You absolutely want to play spoiler for Virginia Tech and what can happen for them tonight.
Boy, Cagle again going to work. And this is going to be concerning, because that is the matchup that Virginia Tech wanted to have with Skyers on Cagle. But I think you'd agree, Morgan, Cagle's had the better of it so far in this half.
Oh, she's absolutely had her way. She is just slicing around, and she has a hesitation to her. But then the way that she cuts, and she has these fake looks, and it's making Skyers dive in or go down for a tackle. But it's so difficult to defend because the fake kicks could easily be actual shots. So Skyers has to go, but she just has to stay on her feet. Maybe she goes for the block, but doesn't actually go down on the ground, because if Cagle can just buy a little bit of time, she's able to advance so quickly.
Linda Mittemeyer on for the Cavaliers, replacing McDermott. Number 11, she's right there at the top of the attack in the middle for Virginia. It is fall championship time on ACCN and the ESPN app. It all gets started at 9:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow with men's and women's cross country. Of course, we've got the Ally ACC Women's Soccer Championship. That starts Sunday with first round action at 6 Eastern. Field hockey quarterfinals start on Tuesday, November 5th. And the men's soccer championship begins Wednesday. ACCN, the home of ACC championships. Virginia scoring in the 12th minute of this match. That's the difference so far. Corner kick from Leah Godfrey, put away by McDermott. 1-0 Cavaliers. Virginia cannot make it into the top 6 and to the ACC tournament, but their RPI, their strength of schedule, as we talked about, more than enough. They should be in regardless of what happens tonight based on that, to get into the NCAA tournament, something they missed last year rather shockingly. snapping a streak of 28 straight appearances. But Virginia Tech, so much more on the line in terms of how high a seed they can get and what that might mean for them. ACC tournament, seeding NCAA tournament even. Things you start to think about, maybe getting to play more matches here. We are a top 16 seed. Hokies at the moment ranked number 12 in the country. Shot from distance goes right at Hargrove.
Jen, that's telling to me that it's a long punt and there's nobody even in the vicinity for Virginia Tech looking to battle for that. And that is what Chugger Adair was talking about. When this team has to be completely focused and locked in for 90 minutes, that is an opportunity that nobody is even around where it's going. And it is just coughing up possession and giving it right back to Virginia.
Defend, defend, defend. That is what they have had to do all throughout this first half, Virginia Tech. Another sub coming for the Cavaliers. Gone to their bench quite a bit is Chloe Yapich, one of those 6 defenders that you mentioned earlier who Steve Swanson trusts, has a lot of confidence in. Come on in the back line. By the way, it took me a minute, that last shot from Virginia, I didn't believe my own eyes that it was number 20 who took that shot. Yes, it was the center back, Maura Kelly, came up to take the shot. Taking her chances, why not?
I love when a center back gets into the attack. You see it on set pieces a lot, but when I played center back, if I got anywhere near the 18, absolutely.
You were going.
I mean, why not?
How about Naomi Girma last night for the U.S. women's national team? Two goals for Naomi Girma. Her first 2, she's a center back, getting up there scoring for the U.S. as they finished out the third of 3 friendlies in this October international window. And both of these teams had some representation on the U.S. team. Really enjoyed talking with Chugger Adair. Special moment as his former goalkeeper. She was Mandy McGlynn when she played at Virginia Tech, but Mandy Hott in her first call-up to the senior team. Able to make the start last night.
Chugger was joking that they didn't see a ton of Mandy Hott in her debut, but still such a huge moment for her. And it was cool hearing just how proud this coaching staff is of her and just the progression that she's had in the pro game, and such a big moment.
Yeah, this is certainly something to be celebrated. It is not often that you see goalkeepers making their debut, as that's important. Duke, by the way, going up 3-1 over North Carolina. That one getting later in Chapel Hill. We will do our best. All the math happening here to get you updated at halftime. Does Virginia Tech have something to say about the scoreline here on their home field? The shot does deflect, but it slows down enough for Saffredin to get there.
Well, Natalie Mitchell is the one on the ball for Virginia Tech, just breaking lines, going right at that back line. Not the best final shot, though. That's when she'll want back.
Yeah, that was quite an opportunity. Those have been few and far between in this first half for the Hokies. Shot 7-2 in favor of Virginia. And the possession, don't have those numbers, but it feels high, somewhere in the 65% range, I would guess, for the Cavaliers.
Well, and Virginia has made a couple changes. So by bringing in Laughlin Ryan previously, they've moved Maggie Cagle more into a bit of a central role. And you can tell that now Emma Palkowski is the player following her, really marking her 1v1 to try to limit the time and space that Cagle has on the ball.
Well, we've teased it a little bit. I think it's time. It's not a trick, it's a treat. Come on, you knew I had to drop some more of those Halloween puns. There she is. Clap for Mandy Hott getting in and making her first career start in her first appearance ever with the U.S. national team. How special to wear that U.S. crest. And we've got a little Virginia love for you too. Don't worry, Cavaliers. We know you were represented also. How about the 100th cap, 100th appearance for former Virginia Cavalier Emily Sonnet. Ball across and the header. Diving save made by Saffredin, and just like that, that is how quickly this Virginia Tech team can strike, make something out of nothing.
When this ball is sent across, it almost gets hung in the air for a little bit, but Taylor Lewin does a great job getting to the ball first. She has two defenders on her, and that's a big-time save from Saffredin. It looked like that one was going to find the near post. But that's a good energy injector for this Hokie team. Now they have the ball deep in their attacking third. Can they create, send one back across? Because we know when that ball's sent in its direct, it's when they tend to have success.
Taylor Lewin, a freshman, doing her best to get on the end of that service. Under 5 to play in the first half. Virginia Tech hoping to play for a 2 seed, their highest ever. The best the Hokies have ever finished is 4th in the ACC. The best seed they've ever had, correspondingly a 4 for the ACC tournament. They can do better than that tonight if they win, and Duke wins, and the Blue Devils up 2 goals over North Carolina in Chapel Hill at the moment. That means it's a 2 seed for the Hokies. But Virginia Tech with some work to do. Virginia does have 3 wins in their last 4, so while they have struggled with a tough schedule, they had 4 straight losses for the first time ever under Steve Swanson at one point, but that included 2 on the road to top 5 teams at North Carolina and Duke. Crowd starting to get a little more rowdy as this Halloween night goes on in Blacksburg.
Well, and it's Price on the ball. She gets in behind. There's been a couple calls that I don't fully agree with it. I think it's Price sliding in for the ball. It's not even a hard tackle with Guidry. It's clear that the referee's calling this a tight game because that's at least been consistent with other calls we've seen.
Yeah, and it's been fairly clean in that we haven't had that many fouls whistled thus far, but I agree, the couple that I remember looking at, maybe a little questionable, but also an understanding of the circumstances. Rivalry, final match of the regular season, a lot on the line for both teams, and just wanted to keep control, set a tone early. Chance to turn here. And the trip, that's a free kick for sure, maybe a card. It is. Maybe a card on the defender, and more importantly, a set piece coming for the Hokies.
And once again, it's Price on the ball. Since she came in, she has been busy. She gets bumped on the back by Price. But she does a fantastic job cutting in the defender. And the way that she's dribbling, it forces her defender to take her down.
Anna Marie Williams, who came off the bench for Virginia, picks up the yellow. And now the Cavaliers, in circumstance where they know they must defend. Does this one go right to goal? Perhaps. Faith you put in a freshman too, in Lewin, the player, the only player over the ball. She's going to try to set it up, and the offside flag comes up against the Hokies. Danger averted for Virginia, at least for now.
And it was clear that Virginia Tech wanted a lefty on the ball. We've seen Skyers take some corners and set pieces, but you're right, there was confidence in Lewin. It's not a bad ball sent in, but to be offside on an opportunity like that, Virginia Tech just has to be a bit more disciplined.
Under 2 minutes to go now in the first half from Blacksburg. Jen Hildreth, former Virginia Tech Hokie, Morgan Bowen, happy to be here with you on the call. Final night of the regular season in ACC women's soccer. Ball in the box and cleared away. Most of our matches should be completed by halftime. We'll tell you about those, and then there's the later West Coast match, Stanford and Cal, to finish up the night. Things starting to pick up a little bit here, it feels like, Morgan, for Virginia Tech in these final few minutes of the first half.
It almost seems like when there started to be a couple more fouls, that's when we saw Virginia Tech truly play into this one a little bit more. I don't know if it was the fans getting more involved and hearing some of that energy, but that's when we've seen a little bit of a shift in just a higher intensity.
Maybe some of the subs, too. Lewin certainly has been impactful since coming on.
Price coming in.
Yep. And that physical brand of soccer, I mean, Virginia Tech is known for that. That's one of the first things teams say, that they have to be ready to play against that when you play the Hokies. Good clearance. It's Cagle and Virginia were coming. Goal in the 12th minute, our only score so far in this Commonwealth clash. Maybe one final opportunity here before the first half whistle for Virginia. No need to hurry though. They have the lead, they have the advantage, and they will take that into halftime. 1-0 our score after the first 45. In the orange with the lead on the road in Blacksburg. The Hokies on a blackout night in Blacksburg on Thompson Field, looking to mount a comeback in the second half. Virginia head coach Steve Swanson's been at this a long time, said this one's just beginning. This Virginia Tech team never goes away. Just ask Florida State. 3 goals in 11 minutes at the end of that match for the Hokies. And Virginia, a victim to a similar scenario. Last time these two teams met here in Blacksburg a couple of years ago, it wound up 3-3, and Virginia had a 2-goal lead up until the 80th minute. And then here come the Hokies. They will never quit coming. Part of what this team has been known for under Chugger Adair, and you were having a nice conversation with him, Morgan, about that and about this team, and if they have that special something of that 2013 team of yours that went to a College Cup. There are some similar qualities. Lainey Rouse back on to start the second half for Virginia. Both teams going to their bench in the first half. Virginia more so than Virginia Tech. McDermott has the game's only goal. Came off a Godfrey corner kick in the 12th minute of the match. McDermott taps it out to Ross. Plenty of space. Good defending there. Skyers doing everything she can to win possession.
Well, and that's great defending again from Eden Skyers. And it almost looks like Virginia Tech, by bringing in Annie DeHaan on this left side, at times she drops in as a 5th defender, but Skyers did a really nice job in the corner 1v1. And Jen, something that's just sticking with me that we actually heard both.
McDermott on it now in the box. Virginia really starting on the front foot here. Plenty of space here for Ross to turn, gets it to the end line. wisely avoids Skyers. McCormack is holding off her defender. Two of them there. She still pokes it through. McCormack back on it. Squirts it through the box, but nobody able to get on the end.
Virginia Tech able to get numbers behind the ball there and really limit, because McCormack was in a very dangerous place with her back to goal, looking to spin, but good team defending getting behind. But what I was saying previously, Jen, we heard both Steve Swanson and Chugger Adair talk about this game. Their teams needed to be able to ride the wave of how the game goes. There's going to be times where things are going really well, maybe a goal scored against. How do they respond? And that feels even more true for Virginia Tech right now. Can they let that last 45 go? Look at this new 45 as a whole. We heard Chugger say they wanted to change some things up.
Hokies on the attack. You can tell by the sound of the crowd. And Saffredin does well to come off her line and snuff out the threat.
And it looks like they have that 5 back, but with their 2 wide players now, it's Allie George and Annie DeHaan. They add into the midfield. So they're almost in between a defender and part of that low line of midfield, but they're just trying to stack numbers in to limit the 1v1 opportunities on the flank and also to limit the space that Virginia has in the midfield.
We know that Virginia Tech has used a couple of different formations. They went to a 3-back. It almost looks like they've shifted into that at times in this, with DeHaan stepping up, as you mentioned, Morgan, into the more of a midfield. But they've had some success using some different formations. They did that against Notre Dame. And whether or not they stay in it or they shift in and out of it could be determined by how this match goes. Now a chance for a shot. Virginia Tech coming with such force, but a good save made. Pelkowski seeking Natalie Mitchell, number 24, the junior from California. 3 goals, 6 assists on the season. Real facilitator this season for Virginia Tech. This could be dangerous. Virginia Tech has really committed a lot of numbers forward, but that ball there kind of bails them out. Virginia didn't have an awful lot of numbers either, to be fair, in their counterattack. McDermott now 4 shots in the match for Virginia. Gets it back from McCormack with a little flick.
Jen, you mentioned that's an area with Virginia running at the Hokies. It's where it can be dangerous, but it's actually the second ball. So it's the clearance becomes even more important because the Hokies just don't have the numbers on the back line anymore since they have committed so many forward. So yes, they're looking to clear, but they have to connect, or if they're going to clear, it's got to go wide. It can't go right up the middle because Virginia is just waiting for that ball to fall to their foot and then sending numbers forward, and the Hokies can't match up numerically.
Some nasty bounce on that ball. Didn't make it an easy clearance for Skyers, so she concedes the corner. It'll be the first of the second half, 5th of the match for Virginia. The Hokies have yet to earn a corner on the other end. This was how the first goal and the only goal so far of this game was scored. Godfrey, see what she brings with this delivery. Has a runner on the far post. But that was set up. That ball was put exactly where Virginia wanted it, just not a great connection on the back post to knock it down. Virginia. A lot of their attack the second half thus far has come up through the middle. Typically a team that we've seen use the width very well, and as you saw, Morgan switch the field a number of times. McDermott has juggled herself out wide and nearly, with the spin on the ball, able to get McCormack, sorry, running toward the goal.
Well, and Hargrove had to be quick off her line there. It was a really nice interchange between Ross and McDermott. on the dribble and then opening up and playing the ball through. But a good job from Lauren Hargrove to get her hands before McCormack was there.
That there, number 2, is Annie DeHaan, the freshman that Morgan mentioned, getting the start in this second half. Has started the last couple of matches with Allie George being out for the Hokies.
And they didn't connect there. That's a tough ball for DeHaan to trap, but that's a better idea. Virginia Tech looking to combine and be a little bit smarter with the balls they're playing out versus just knocking it up and it falling right to the foot of the Hoos.
Another corner on the way for Virginia.
And keep an eye on the back post. That last ball that Godfrey sent in, Tatum Galvin timed it perfectly, was on the way far post and nobody was there. It went over where the players were. She was running in and nobody picked up the runner. So that's something to keep an eye on, is the late runner coming in on the box.
There's the service from Godfrey, and Hargrove came out for it. There was some contact, and Virginia Tech wins it. Those deliveries from Godfrey have been so good because they have been right in that danger area where the goalkeeper has to be really sure, but she's not sure initially with the placement of it. Do you let your defense clear it or do you come? And if you come, you better get it, as Hargrove did that time and took some contact along the way.
Well, and the placement is just a couple yards off the goal line, so it's not too far, but you're right, Jen, it's a decision that Hargrove in this instance has to make. And if she stays, she's in some trouble as well because Virginia has players that can put pressure when the ball's played in.
Virginia's coming off a 1-0 victory against the Clemson Tigers in their last match. Mentioned they've won 3 of their last 4. Game winner in that 1-0 scoreline against the Tigers came off the foot of Leah Godfrey late in the 86th minute, her 6th career game-winning goal. If this score holds, she'll have the game-winning assist, but a lot of time left to play. Godfrey stepping onto it in the box, gets the defender on her heels, takes a shot, it's blocked. Big collision as both players go down and a card is shown.
Yellow card issued Virginia Tech, number 33, Ava Rango.
Rango getting booked for Virginia Tech on the play.
And Arango looks like she completely loses track of the ball. Guidry does the right thing, putting her body there, but Arango just runs right through her with her leg up. That's a bad foul. There's no need to go up with a knee there. And then on the flip side, too, you give up an opportunity to Virginia in a very dangerous place with runners.
Samar Guidry trying to get healthy. That doesn't feel good when you're, well, it doesn't ever feel good. But yeah, it earns this set piece now for Virginia. Right about outside the 6-yard line. And then another foul is called just outside the area as Ella Carter goes down. Virginia Tech frustrated by the call, but this is another set piece. And this may be Leah Godfrey territory.
When I've said this before, but when a player keeps the ball so close to their foot, it forces a defender to step in, and it's the young freshman and Annie DeHaan. She just completely dives in and gets the foot of Carter. There has to be more composure there, but it's really difficult because Carter has that ball close to her.
Leah Godfrey has scored directly off a free kick in her career. Did it as a sophomore against Santa Clara. She's going for it this time. A little too much height, though. Doesn't bend it under the crossbar.
And this is a really good look. It's a great angle seeing the ball come in. Godfrey strikes it well, just gets a little bit under it and pops it over the bar. But you know when she's lining up there, that one's going on frame.
Shots 11-4 now in favor of Virginia.
And Jen, it just feels like Virginia Tech is struggling to connect passes. And this has been a long time, really the whole second half, so 12 minutes they've been stuck defending, and Virginia is connecting and they're getting their midfield involved. This is a really good ball played in though. And when that breaks down for the Hokies, that forces them to regroup defensively, but I love that penetration in the entry pass. Unfortunately, the Hokies not able to hold on to it.
Skyers. Virginia Tech needs to win this match to get a bye, to get the 2 seed. If they don't, they will be traveling to North Carolina. In a 4-5 matchup, they would be the 5, Virginia Tech, and that would come on Sunday. North Carolina not on the schedule for the Hokies this year, nor was Duke. They would certainly admit their schedule helped them. It was not one of the tougher ones in the ACC. However, the ranked opponents that were on their schedule in the conference, they beat 2 top 10 wins for Virginia Tech on the season, coming against Florida State and on the road at Notre Dame. First time since 2013 that the Hokies have 2 top 10 wins. First time in the regular season since 2010. You can only play the schedule you're given, and those were 2 really impressive wins. What will they get out of this one against their rival? Rosenbaum in the middle, Weir on the ball, and a diving save made. Vicky Saffredin strong in goal, the sophomore for the Cavaliers.
Well, and that's a good save too from Saffredin, because she hasn't been called upon a ton, but she's able to stay focused and stay in. We've seen Virginia Tech have a few opportunities where they get to the start of their final third, but then nothing comes from it because there's not a lot of players, not a lot of options going forward. I like how Weir had that ball slipped into her and she gets her head up, but there's nobody to connect with.
Cagle always seems to be hovering around the ball. McDermott slips in the box, and at the near post it's grabbed by Hargrove.
Well, and Jen, that's a difference right there alone, because the ball is played wide to Cagle and she has 2 options with her third coming in. McDermott's the one who keeps it on her foot, but if she let that go, there was a player behind her who's also looking to get forward, and we just have not seen the numbers getting forward for Virginia Tech like we're seeing Virginia having success with how they're adding into the attack.
Is that a product of the way that they're set up, Morgan, or why is it that Virginia Tech has not had the numbers?
It's a product of how deep they're defending, and they're stuck defending. So when they do get the ball in transition, we know the Hokies can go quickly. They're having to cover so much ground to get into the attack, so there's not as many players. But Virginia is possessing and slowly moving it up, that they're already higher up the field when they do get the ball.
McCormack relishes these opportunities to get higher on the field in the attack for Virginia and earns a corner for her efforts.
And that's special from McCormack. You can see how fast she is closing ground. She looks to send the ball across on a diagonal, but Virginia Tech able to defend it. But once again, here they are, another corner coming in.
7th of the match for Virginia. Hokies have got to know they're playing with fire here, and look at all the bodies around Hargrove. Ball bent in, and now finally does trickle out for a goal kick. Let's give you our Week 10 ACC Network football lineup. It begins Saturday at noon with Stanford and NC State. Then Florida State hosts North Carolina, and we'll cap the night with a big one. Number 18 Pitt, number 20 SMU. That's at 8 Eastern. Games also on the ESPN app. And that last game, SMU trying to remain undefeated in the ACC in their first season in the league. And there are only 2 games in the country this weekend that feature 2 top 25 teams. That SMU Pitt game is one of them. Ella Valente into the match for Virginia Tech, replacing Weir. Godfrey. Gosh, it is great to see her starting to get back up to her full speed. It's been a struggle for her trying to do that in season after missing all of last year. 3-time All-American. You don't need to say more than that to understand how special Leah Godfrey is. And McCormack, the ground she covers for Virginia. Steve Swanson telling us it's the most of any player. But now on the turnover, this is where the Hokies can strike if they play it right, which that time they don't. Those are the kind of moments, though, Morgan, right, that Virginia Tech lives for, and they have to figure out how to connect those passes a little better, keep some possession, allow the numbers that you're talking about to get into the attack.
Well, and the reason connecting the pass and why that's so important is because when they're winning it, they're still so far from goal. So yes, Taylor Price is on the ball, on the dribble, and that's a good thing, but when she's at midfield, there's so much ground to cover, and there's pace that the defenders have that they can put in pressure. And then also for Virginia, you have Saffredin, who is still high off her line. So Virginia Tech's first ball has to be connected so that once Price is on the ball, she's higher up the field and not having to run.
Oh, she's making a big run here, Morgan. A chance for Virginia Tech to tie. It's got to be put in. Oh, my gosh, she skies it over. That was a gift given to Natalie Mitchell. She couldn't put it away. What a ball. The perfect setup. This one could haunt Mitchell if the Hokies don't find a way to make advantage later.
And it's Price who's the one playing it into Mitchell. Saffredin is high off her line. Mitchell takes a fantastic first touch that beats Saffredin. And that is one that will haunt her on Halloween. Sending that one over. It's a fantastic first touch. She's in, she has her head up, she feels the pressure and just pops it over. That is one for Virginia Tech that they will look back on and know it could have brought them even and completely changed this game.
How short can your memory be? That's going to be the challenge now for a really talented player in Natalie Mitchell.
Well, and Jen, I think that's the biggest call out is she has to have a short memory because there's still so much time to play. She's calling for the ball again. She's able to find the space in the pocket in between the back line of Virginia and the midfield line. She wants it back, which is a great sign because that is easily a play that could completely derail somebody's play.
Oh, a chance on the turnover. Price wreaking havoc on this Virginia back line, and you can see why when you talk about Virginia Tech wanting to get her higher up the field, this is why. She asks questions of the defense that are not easy to answer. D'Amelio looking for some space out wide, instead just puts it out of play.
And you can see Allie George putting her arm forward. She wanted that ball at a diagonal so she could run onto it, not flat where she has to pull her run back, slow her momentum. But Jen, you're right. With bringing in Taylor Price, she does ask questions of the defense, and also with her coming in how she does and being a substitute, this is also a back line that might be a little bit more tired. We know we'll probably see some changes, though, as well to the Virginia back line. But you expect her to have that full energy.
collision and no whistle blown. Virginia comes away with it. McDermott down at midfield. Play on, says the referee. Hokies happy to oblige. Valente back to Skyers, who shifted her positioning in this second half, and this has felt like a more dangerous looking half so far for Virginia Tech with some of the changes that they've made to shape, to personnel. Shot is taken low from Rosenbaum. 3 goals, 2 assists on the season. She had the first goal for Virginia Tech in their comeback win against Florida State earlier this year. Do the Hokies have another comeback in this regular season? Rosenbaum, 2 players there, just off the post. Unlucky indeed for Taylor Price.
Jen, these last opportunities have shown how this 3-back with the 2 wide players has worked out well for Virginia Tech. I love the early service from Rosenbaum, beating the defenders with that ball. Price strikes it exactly where she should, but this started when it was picked up by Allie George, who stepped into the midfield. Look at this quick cross all the way, and then Price just misses frame. But when Virginia Tech can play quickly, that's what happens when they pick the ball up higher up the field. Their numbers are in a more advanced position, and they have more options.
Virginia Tech feeling it now, understanding the score likely should be tied, could be in their favor had those 2 opportunities been put away. That last one that went off the post, and then the one from Mitchell that had an open goal for her to score on. Now, loss or draw, in essence, they have the same result for Virginia Tech when it comes to seeding in the ACC tournament. They would wind up a 5. They would travel to North Carolina, who would be the 4. A win, however, you know the answer by now. That means a 2 seed and rest on Sunday.
And Jen, a place that Virginia Tech cannot get caught is playing that long ball. So we saw Skyers win. She's looking to go direct. That is a ball that is not on. It has to connect to the midfield, or they have to have the defensive structure in the middle to pick the ball up in a better area. But if they just look to win it deep in their own half and play it long, they will not have success that way.
Little too much lead on this ball, which looked like it was going to stay in there for a while for Virginia. Now, both of these teams should be playing in the NCAA tournament. I don't think there's any question. Virginia Tech ranked number 12, and you look at the RPI. Yes, Virginia Tech, the last of those ACC teams in the top 25 RPI, but what they have done, their record in conference this season speaks for itself. Ranked number 12 in the country right now, so you're looking at 2 NCAA teams. Virginia Tech will be playing in the ACC tournament. The question is where and at what seed? And Virginia will just have to await the NCAA selection to see what their next game after this one will be. But a win here on the road at Blacksburg would only help their resume. Feels a lot like Virginia just holding on almost at the moment. Not that they've taken their foot off the pedal. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like Virginia Tech has forced a different feeling in this game in the second half, forced Virginia into more defending. They're on the ball now, though. And that's the ball you were saying, right? That has to be on for Virginia Tech if they're going to try to play it quickly up the middle.
Well, and we're seeing Virginia now finding some more success because they were able to beat that first line of the press from the Hokies, which was coming from their outside midfielders. But now Virginia finding their possession style once again. and forcing the Hokies to shift left to right.
Would think a handball at least would have been called there from that last sequence. Nothing was. It's just a throw-in.
Well, and Jen, also keep an eye on number 16, Allie George, for the Hokies. We know she missed some previous games with injury. She's coming back in. A lot is being asked of her right now in this left midfield area. She's adding into the attack. She has to drop back and essentially become that back five when they're defending. And it almost looks like when she's running, she's not as strong in her run and her pace as she was previously. So just something to keep an eye on there, because we also know Maggie Cagle can find her way to the left. And that's a matchup I'll just continue to watch.
Kylie Marshall may get fortunate here. No, it's going to be Virginia ball, they're saying. Chloe Yapich off the bench and into the match. Grad transfer from Baylor, but in her third year with the Cavaliers. Started her career with the Bears, and now one of those experienced players who got a lot of time last year. Keeper coming, and she has it. Hargrove will reset. Crowd urging the Hokies to go when they win it, as they have it now. Valente, Rouse defending for Virginia. Valente got it across. Chance for a follow-up is high and out from de Guzman.
When Jen, that last build-up started with Emma Pelkowski, the holding mid for Virginia Tech, doing really hard work in the middle of the park, going low to pick off the ball. She has been outstanding for the Hokies throughout her whole career, but on a game like this, especially when they shift into that three-back formation, so much is asked of her. She has to cover so much ground and really protect that back line.
She did not like that, the way that Cagle went over her head after she was down on the ground. But she's going to get a card for it, and Cagle will too.
And I mentioned that's a matchup we'll continue to watch. Cagle just comes in through her back leg and then steps over the top of George.
Intentional, Morgan, you think, by Cagle? Or just nowhere else to go?
I mean, I think Cagle's going for the ball. Yeah, she knows she's stepping over her, but also where else is she supposed to go?
Yeah,
It's a rivalry. You know that's going to get a little bit chippy, and that's been a matchup that we've seen a lot throughout tonight is George, Cagle getting on the ball. Something I will watch now, though, is the next time Virginia has a build-up, do they go left and find Maggie Cagle, and does she try to slice up a little bit more just to make a statement? And will Allie George maybe going harder for a tackle? So it's absolutely something to watch.
Now that they're both on a yellow card, stakes get raised. Not a good clearance. It's still a chance in the box for Virginia Tech. And the Hokies have their first corner kick of the match. A team that thrives on set pieces has an opportunity now to tie it from the corner. You see the camera shaking? That tells you about the atmosphere here at Thompson Field right now. The fans loud, making themselves heard, understanding what an opportunity this is. The header at goal. That's why they're so good at it, but this one put right at the goalkeeper, Saffredin.
When Allie Lewis, number 14, has been so dominant in the air, both defensively, and then we see her here on the attacking end. And that's a good ball sent in from Skyers. Virginia Tech's going to have to look to continue to press and either create in the run of play, or can they create a dead ball situation?
McDermott has some options to her right and her left. There's Cagle. Matchup you were looking for if Cagle was going to try to take it toward George again. It's about that point in the match where Virginia Tech wanting to be chaos creators, but Virginia with a chance to put it away and get some insurance. You can't do it with that shot from Maya Carter. Subs typically a little more frequent in the second half in college soccer. You are allowed a re-entry. It's Carter back in. You can expect that is not the last you'll see of Leah Godfrey. She could come back in the match and likely will. One of the best players for this Virginia team. And Mitchell now back. Had the best chance of the match for Virginia Tech. Open goal, put it high. Hungry for another chance. Cagle. She does dare the defenders to dive in with all those moves she makes. That one out of the reach of McCormack. Well, get ready, basketball fans. College hoops begin Monday, and we will have a triple header on ACCN. The number 6 Notre Dame women host Mercyhurst to start the day at 5 Eastern, and you know you want to see Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo together. I know I do. And then we've got a men's doubleheader, Cooper Flag and number 7 Duke taking on Maine, number 9 North Carolina, and Elon in the nightcap. Nothing But Net will follow at 11 Eastern as we tip off the season on ACCN. By the way, the Notre Dame women in their exhibition put up over 100 points. So get ready. They're the favorites this year in women's hoops in the ACC. Notre Dame women winning on the soccer field tonight too. So the Irish at the moment sitting in the 6th seed. Stanford Cal to come later tonight. Notre Dame does have the tie-break advantage over Stanford should the Cardinal win and tie Notre Dame at 19 points. George getting up in the attack for Virginia Tech. A chance in the box, the header down, and Virginia Tech again creating, just not finishing.
Allie George is fantastic. The way that she covers ground and then she goes directly at Yapich. This is a fantastic ball sent across. It has pace. Price is pulling away. And it just skims and misses to the left side. It's a great opportunity for the Hokies.
Virginia Tech out shooting Virginia in the second half. Taylor Price had the game winner against both SMU and Florida State earlier this season. Had a hat trick against Louisville. They want to continue to get her more looks just like that.
Well, and it started from the ball wide. That's when Virginia Tech is most dangerous. It's not just a ball sent in from the flank over the top trying to get Price running in behind. It's when they can pull Virginia wide.
McDermott got the ball away, but a little too much contact in doing so. Just talking about basketball, it's like she was posting up there at the edge of the area. And we wrap the arms around. This Virginia Tech team has worked to put themselves in territory where they have not gone before. Chance for their best ever finish in the ACC. They need a win to do that now. Chance for their highest seed. Most wins in a 10-game conference season. They've tied that already with 6. They could get their 7th tonight if they can find a way to come back. But first you need 1. Then you work on the second. They've certainly been putting in the work in the second half in the attack. Looks like a different team than what we saw in the first half.
Well, they absolutely look like a different team. But Jen, something that has kind of plagued this Virginia Tech team in past years, and we've seen it a little bit this season, is they don't have that one go-to goal scorer. We talked about it in the Open. They have a similar style of goal that they've had success with, but they don't have that one person, and they need someone who's going to step up tonight if they're going to even this score.
Oh, Meredith McDermott wily in her movements. Just got whistled for the foul on her the last time. This time she tries a similar move and gets the call against the defense. That's a little tough, I would say, for Virginia Tech.
That's a hard one. Allie Lewis uses her body, and then she's actually turned running after the ball.
Low ball driven initially by the Cavaliers. Skyers acrobatically attempts to clear. I mean, every ball is a battle right now. Both teams bringing in some reinforcements. Rosenbaum back out there for Virginia Tech. Guidry back for Virginia, replacing Yapic. Guidry can be those targets in the attack when she gets forward. Kiki Mackey coming in, trying to help hold down things defensively for Virginia.
Well, and we see Virginia Tech sticking with their 3-back, but Allie George is actually now back on this back line because they pulled out Allie Lewis, the center back, to be able to bring Rosenbaum back into the front area.
Taking a few more chances, it feels like right now that they're really chasing the match. Under 10 minutes to play. They need 2 goals, Virginia Tech. One doesn't make a difference, honestly, in their fate as it relates to ACC tournament seeding. Because even though that point would tie them with North Carolina, Tar Heels have the tie break. Two teams did not meet in the regular season. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Rosenbaum is back to her feet, but not so for Guidry. Took a hard hit. Was that earlier this half or the first half? She's had a rough night as those go.
And Jen, that was earlier this half, but this is an incredibly hard collision. Both players going in. It's Guidry backing up. Rosenbaum coming back to it and gets clipped. Both in the head area. That is a tough collision.
Well, both teams will take this opportunity to regroup, talk about these last 9 minutes. What do you think is the conversation over there in the Virginia Tech huddle?
They have to find the foot originally of an attacker and then build off of it. They're going direct, but it cannot just be a direct ball from the start. What they're talking about, they have to find the outlet ball. So can they advance the ball and find it in a wide pocket? They know they've made numerical decisions, so they have more people into the attack, but they have to be able to connect that first ball and advance it, and then find a ball in. They have players who can get on the end of a cross. Something I do note, though, is with Allie Lewis coming out and Allie George popping back to the back line, they lose her ability into the attack because she's going to have to be a bit more reserved now, just playing in a 3-back. But they also brought out wide Sam de Guzman. So can they find some play from the flank area? But then also they have to finish their chances. We've seen what's happened when they've sent balls in and not been able to put it away.
Chances have been there for Virginia Tech this half. There's no doubt about that. And while Virginia had 60% of the possession in the first half, it's been better in the second half. Not quite such a big disadvantage for the Hokies, closer to 50-50.
Well, and Jen, we've talked about the decisions the Hokies have made, but Virginia has dropped. They have 4, but then you have Lainey Rouse out wide. So when she drops into the back line, there's 5 players there for Virginia. So they are looking to really limit whatever opportunities Virginia Tech has by just keeping numbers on that back line.
Everybody up here for Virginia Tech. It's from near midfield. What can they make of it? Skyers. She in the back line will reset. Marshall crosses that Virginia Tech logo at midfield. Find the feet, you said, with that first half. Hokies trying to do that in this attack now with some width. Valente caught a little bit on her heels to come back and get the ball. And to Virginia's credit, the Cavaliers smothering now. They'll have to defend the other side of the field. Hokies just want another chance in the box. There it is! I mean, they have been so great at creating. They will rue these chances that they are earning, but not finishing in this match.
Well, and it's to Guzman. She's special. She draws 2 defenders, and she gets by Yapic as well. It's a great ball across. Rosenbaum misses the first one, falls all the way to the far post with Valente, and she can't get it to go. But you can see what Virginia Tech is doing. They want the ball wide. They want to send it in. But they have to be able to finish. And Jen, there's a good sign for Virginia. We saw Guidry come back into the game. Really happy to see that.
Yes. As we mentioned, she's taken a couple of really tough hits in this match, and good to see that she's cleared and back ready to go. We mentioned it's been more physical in the second half. 17 fouls by Virginia Tech compared to 8 from Virginia. The shots, though, just a 2-shot advantage now overall for Virginia, as it's been more Hokies on the attack in the second half. Virginia with the opportunity to collect another top 25 win, top 25 RPI win, just to increase an already impressive tournament resume, as they await NCAA tournament selection. Will not be able to finish top 6 in the ACC. Once we finish up here, we will show you how things stand. What we showed you at halftime so far still holding strong, and that has this Virginia Tech team at a 5 seed, meaning they would travel to Chapel Hill on Sunday to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels in that 4-5 matchup. The top 2 seeds, 1 and 2, get a bye on Sunday. And I'm going to say a stormtrooper, but I don't think it is. It's some other sort of Boba Fett, Mandalorian type character that made that grab in the stands. See, Morgan, everybody has some fun Halloween headgear. Aren't you glad that we played along?
I'm very glad. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for supplying.
You're welcome. All right, 5 minutes to go. Is this how this one will end? 1-0. It almost feels unfair with what Virginia Tech has done in the second half, but the reality is you have to put them away. The Hokies just have not done that in the second half. Virginia has bent but not broken. Their job now, keep possession, waste some time. And Virginia Tech's job, keep on creating and see if you can find one that you can finally put away. We are back in for D'Amelio.
Well, and Jen, coming into this game, one of the keys for Virginia Tech was to take their chances, because they knew they might not create a ton. So the ones that did come their way, they had to put them away. And so far, they've shown that they've struggled there, and that's something that, as they continue on in the postseason, we know we'll see them in the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament. That is a place that they have to clean up, because in the NCAA tournament, if you don't take your chances, you're done. The season is over. So that is absolutely a takeaway from this game for Virginia Tech as they enter the postseason as a whole.
This Virginia Tech team has that chip on their shoulder. They're not the teams people talk about. They were picked 10th in the ACC in the preseason. They have just initially quietly gone about their way and gotten their results. It wasn't quiet when they had that big win against Florida State at the beginning of October. taking down the defending national champs has a way of getting you a little more attention. And since then, the Hokies have continued to roll. Just one loss in their conference season, that coming in September on the road at Boston College. Unbeaten in their last 6, 4 wins in that stretch, but facing a loss here on their home field tonight. Because all those records, all the numbers, as the coaches and the players, as I'm sure you would agree, Morgan, you throw them out when it's a rivalry match.
And this has very much felt like a rivalry match. I was hoping that we would see this Virginia Tech team still try to play spoiler in their own right, but I think they've almost struggled just with how the game started. We've seen a completely different team in the second, but they're also playing from behind, so they didn't have just that 0-0 to start off with. But it has felt like a rivalry, which I think has been great, and credit Virginia and just how they came out. They knew they needed to hold on to the ball to really limit Virginia Tech's ability in transition, and they've done so.
Virginia wins the first ball, the second, now they get it clear. Sometimes those are the most dangerous parts of set pieces. Hokies have proven they are more than capable of creating dangerous opportunities. That is a hopeful ball at best. That is going to leave a mark. Can hear that from across the field, but we play on. Under 2 minutes to go. Virginia looking to make it 4 wins in their last 5. And Virginia Tech perhaps suffering their first loss since September 26th. No, September 22nd, excuse me, that match at Boston College. Is there another chance to be had for the Hokies? They're bringing numbers in support. A lot of numbers back for Virginia as well. This will go out for a Virginia Tech throw. George, she's been dangerous when she gets up there. There's a lot of contact on that header. Taylor Price went up for it. There's no question there was contact. She may have embellished a little bit after the fact, but let's take a look.
Well, and this is a dangerous ball in from de Guzman. Once again, it's Price.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's enough to call.
But do you look at it? I think you look at it. The video review is available. That's a potential penalty. I think the referee should look at this. And I guarantee you Virginia Tech sideline should be shouting about that. Potential penalty situations are part of video review at the referee's discretion this year. A little surprised. I mean, you think it was the right call, though, Morgan, on your glance.
I could totally see them looking at it again. I don't think anything would have changed. In my opinion, it almost looked like Maki just turned her shoulder, essentially, and Price is coming through, but...
Now, tempers flaring now as another card is shown. It's time to Weir. And the seconds ticking away on the Hokies. The 2 seed was within their grasp when they came into this match tonight, especially they got the result they needed in Chapel Hill. Duke getting the win, and that rivalry match against the Tar Heels, that opened the door for the Hokies to potentially claim their highest finish, highest seed ever at number 2. They couldn't take their chances tonight.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
A frustrating ending for the home team, but the Virginia Cavaliers will celebrate an impressive performance to shut out this gritty Virginia Tech team.
Well, and Virginia came in with a game plan. They knew they wanted to possess. They knew they wanted to limit Virginia Tech's ability to go in transition.